Welcome to our video today where we're going to tackle a complex SQL query question that's sure to challenge even the most seasoned database enthusiast. The topic at hand is SQL Query for replacing the first non-zero digit in history code with sequential values based on date-based conditions. This might sound like a mouthful, but trust me, it's an important concept to grasp, especially if you're working with large datasets that involve historical data and complex conditions. By the end of this video, you'll have a clear understanding of how to approach this type of problem and be able to apply it to your own work. In this video, we'll break down the main components of the query, explore the logic behind it, and provide examples to help illustrate each step. We'll also summarize at the end, so you can quickly reference them later. So let's dive right in. To start, let's define what we mean by history code. In this context, history code refers to a unique identifier that's assigned to each record in our dataset. The first non-zero digit of this code is significant because it determines the sequence of events or actions that are associated with that particular record. Well, the problem statement asks us to replace the first non-zero digit in the history code with sequential values based on certain date-based conditions. In other words, we need to update the history code for each record in a way that reflects the order in which they occurred, but only if specific conditions related to dates are met. To tackle this problem, let's break it down into smaller steps. First, we need to identify the records that meet the date-based conditions. This could involve comparing dates against a certain threshold or range. Next, we need to determine the sequence of events for each record that meets the conditions. This might involve using a subquery or joining tables to get the relevant information. Once we have the sequence, we can update the history code by replacing the first non-zero digit with the corresponding sequential value. Now, let's consider an example to illustrate this process. Suppose we have a dataset of customer orders, and each order has a unique history code that starts with a 0, followed by a series of digits. We want to update the history code for each order so that it reflects the sequence in which they were placed, but only if the order was placed within a certain date range. To do this, we might use a query like this. Note, no actual code snippet will be used here. We'd start by identifying the orders that meet the date-based conditions using a where clause. Then, we'd use a subquery to get the sequence of events for each order that meets the conditions. Finally, we'd update the history code for each record using an update statement. To summarize, the main points discussed in this video are the importance of understanding date-based conditions and how they can be used to drive updates to data. The need to break down complex problems into smaller, more manageable steps. The use of subqueries and joins to get relevant information for updating records. The application of sequential values to update the history code based on specific conditions. In the SQL query question might seem daunting at first, but by breaking it down into smaller components and using a logical approach, we can tackle even the most complex problems. If you have any questions or need further clarification, please don't hesitate to leave a comment below. Don't forget to like this video. If you found it helpful, and subscribe for more content on database management and SQL queries.